Dear Father in heaven, please help me this morning as I share a few thoughts. I ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. When Darlene and I lived in northeast Alabama, which was quite a few years ago, there were no bears up there. But in recent years, black bears have moved in to that area. It was a little town of Mentone. My sister-in-law, Darlene's sister and her husband, Dow and John, they still live up there in that area. And they caught this picture of the bear on one of their security cameras. And yeah, black bears are up there. They've got to strap the trash cans down and the lids on it so the bears don't eat the trash. And they're a little more careful now when they walk in the mornings. I'm told the way to respond to a black bear is you can raise your arms, you can take some pots and pans and knock them together. You can make some noise. But other bears, that's not exactly the approach. Many years ago, I was invited to British Columbia, had a friend up there named Jerry. They were doing a convention on back to the country living skills. It was how to build a cabin, how to sharpen a saw, how to use a chainsaw. We were picking Saskatoons out there in the forest. Had a nice time. And it was a camping convention. So you take your tent and you camp out there in the woods. I camped on the edge of a nice meadow, just a nice little tent, good view of the moon at night. And when I got there, Jerry took me aside. He said, look, we've got brown bears here, more brown bears than people in this part of the country. And if you see a brown bear, and he told me what you would do. Now, it's very different from a black bear. In a black bear, you make some noise, you cause a commotion, you make a ruckus. But with a brown bear, he told me, you just chill out, you just play dead. And I thought, Jerry, that's going to be hard to do. And then he explained, you can't run because the bear can run faster than you. You can't jump in the river and swim because the bear can swim faster than you. If you think about going up a tree, forget it, the bear can climb faster than you. And I said, okay. He said, prevention is better than cure. You don't want to meet the bear in the first place. And here's first step. You have any food with you? Yes, my granola from home, I told Jerry. He said, leave it in our building. Get it out in the morning before breakfast. You can eat your granola, put the food back in the building. Don't take anything in your tent. I said, okay. So we had an enjoyable week up there, mingling with the people and talking about cabin building and solar power and life out in the country and the beauty of nature. Then it came time to go. Challenge was for me, my flight was like 3 or 4 in the morning. I had to get up in the middle of the night and I didn't want to leave my granola. I had a couple pounds left. Didn't want to leave my granola there in British Columbia. So I got it. I had a piece of plastic under my air mattress, under my sleeping bag, in my tent, and I put the granola up under the plastic, and then I laid on top of the sleeping bag. And I thought, there's no way a bear can smell that. Now, there was a dog there, a little black dog, and they called him Bear. And I asked, why did you give that dog the name of Bear? Because he only barks when he sees, guess what, a bear. And so my Timex watch went off, my alarm was going off. I got up in the middle of the night, getting ready to pack up, head to the airport. And as I was stirring, I heard a little animal run up outside the tent and start to bark. It was Bear. And Bear only barks, I was told, when he sees a bear. Now, when he started barking, my body began to respond. I was breathing very heavily. My eyes and my bronchial tubes were dilating. Adrenaline was going into my bloodstream. My heart rate was going up, blood pressure going up. Non-essential blood flow to the pancreas, liver, spleen. It was being diminished and blood flow to my arms and legs was increasing. Now scientists call it fight or flight. I call it scared. So it was quite an interesting experience. The thought came to me, I'm going to get eaten by a brown bear over 2 pounds of granola and I'll never see my wife again. And that was, I never forgot it. And then we were in Hong Kong doing a health ministry type school, studying, nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, temperance, all the laws that govern nature in our bodies. Talking about anatomy and physiology. I was to learn firsthand a lesson on anatomy and physiology in this fight or flight response. Because Hong Kong, I think back then it had 8 million people in it. It's like a little bowl. It's a very, very dense area. The people there, they stay up all night long. It's traffic and noise all night long. And then after, 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, it was getting to me. And the lady that invited us there, her name was Miranda, she said, well, there's a place called the Titam Dam. It's like a reservoir, nature area. And you can take a bus out there, and you can spend the day in nature. And I told Darlene, let's take the bus and go. And so we went up there. And as we got out, just a beautiful area. There's this bridge over this area where there's a dam, this beautiful trees. It's like a forest, almost like a rainforest. And as we were walking, we saw a lot of monkeys. There are monkeys everywhere. And Darlene, when she was in school, had studied animal behavior, and she studied monkeys in captivity. And so as we were walking, and all these monkeys around, I started making faces at the different monkeys. And it's interesting. They made faces back. Darlene recommended not do that. And I didn't listen to her. I kept doing it. And then one time I was this monkey, and I bared my teeth. And Darlene said, don't do that. And I said, why not? And I continued to do it. And the monkey I was looking at, he also revealed his teeth, got up on his back legs, started beating the air with his fist, and running at me full speed. Now, as he did that, and by the way, that monkey was pretty big when he was up on his back legs. As he did that, I had that same response that I had in Canada. Started breathing fast, this shaking and quaking sensation. And I thought, again, I had that thought, I'm going to get eaten in Hong Kong by a monkey. And it wasn't funny at the time. I look back and laugh now, but at the time, it was quite frightening. Now, let me say most of the experiences I've had with animals have been very pleasant ones. But those two stand out in my mind as unforgettable. I was invited to address the executives in the China Bank in the Manila office here in the Philippines. Before I could speak to them, these were top-tier executives, most in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, graduate degrees, highly educated, responsible positions. And they told me, you need to just stick with the subject of health. I said, okay. And I had to go through some metal detectors, security to get to the people. When I went in, there was like an amphitheater, and the people are sitting there in front of me. And I asked them the first question. I said, is there anybody here that has any stress? And every hand in that place went up. Next question, does anybody here know the answer for stress? And not one hand went up. And these people were faced with challenges they did not know how to solve. The one answer that would work, I've seen it in my own life, the one answer that would work is the very answer that they ruled out. Now, in mental, physical, social, emotional health, all these things, there's a cause and effect relationship. Prevention is better than cure, but you can't prevent if you don't know the cause. So these things that work in our hearts and in our minds, these stressors, in fact, science calls these outside influences that shape the way we think and the way we feel, these are stressors. Our response to the stressors is stress. So if you want to respond with a peace that passes understanding in a world full of unrest, you got to have help from God. And this is what I could not share in the China Bank. And I dare say they don't get help. Now, fight or flight is great if it's the monkey or it's the bear. But if it's the everyday challenges of life, dear friends, we got to be able to be peaceful in the eye of the storm. So may God help you today to find Philippians 4:7, a peace that passes understanding. May God bless you and keep you today.
You want to see the garlic?
Yep. You got some garlic growing?
I'm pulling some garlic. You can look in the box here what I've pulled. Some are bigger and some are smaller. And
okay.
Look in here. And then I'm gonna continue digging some here.
Well,
see,
garlic harvest.
That's a pretty good sized one there.
That's garlic harvest there.
They didn't have much to grow on here. I'm surprised they did so well.
What we learned is if you both eat garlic at breakfast, you can't smell it.
That's right.
But if one eats it and the other one doesn't, beware. There it is. Let's get a close-up of that. Lift that back up here, honey.
Let me get those up. Those are the two bigger ones, I think.
The big ones here?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, look at that.
Could be bigger, but hey.
Could be bigger,
not
but we're
bad.
thankful for what we got.
It's not bad. I'm going to dig some more here if you want to see, I just go close to this and
Yeah.
pull and dig at the same time. Yeah, that's a good size one too.
That's a good size
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
Harvesting garlic.
It's good for you. And I'm also gonna till up some for the sweet potatoes here.
It's tilling time.
It's tilling time. Time to till the sweet potato.
Okay, where's the tractor at, honey, or where's the motor?
It's right here. This is a rough bed. It's got a lot of grass and weeds in it. I know it's been tilled a couple of times with a regular tiller, but
Yeah.
still got a little bit in there. But I'm gonna do my best
Yeah.
to make a furrow so I can plant the sweet potato slips
Where do you put the gas in on that plow?
in the morning at breakfast.
Okay. So for this morning you had oatmeal, right?
I had some oatmeal, some fruit,
Fruit, oatmeal.
a little squash soup.
You get about 60 miles a gallon on that kind of plan, don't you?
That's right. This is not the easiest thing to do with this thing, but it's good exercise.
Yeah. This is people ask us if we have a gym. I say, yeah, we call it the Treetop Farm.